I just like Altium Designer because it's just really simple to use, and you can get a lot done with the Altium. The simplicity is, it's very simple to use, and you get exactly what you want to do. Schematic, making component decals in the library, it's very easy. Making your own components, adding it to a library, it's really easy. Netlist extraction is easy. BOM generation. Also, I love the new 3D PCB view that is added to the latest upgrade. So,
our whole department just signed up for Altium Designer as a team maybe 6 months ago. I've been using it for years, but they were OrCAD people, and so they constantly just say, "Oh my God, I can't believe how good this is and how good that is compared to what we used to have." But all of us are using the 3D features just to find things like reference designators laying into places that just aren't the right place. It just seems to be more natural to look at it in 3D.
A client of ours who was very excited about you guys and said we needed to be using this tool, so we had a very short window of ramp up in order to be able to support that client, and Altium made a commitment to us to support that ramp up in a way that allowed us to be successful. And I'll tell you honestly, it's the Mars rovers, and you guys helped us get those Mars rovers up and running.
For the stuff that I do, a lot of it is being wrapped up in the tool. I did some of this open bus work, and I had a firmware guy looking over my shoulder. He's like, "Man, I think I could design hardware." And I thought, "Whoa, that's scary."
As a manager who's seeing and having to look at where are we most effective, where are we wasting time or losing time, I think for me, being able to manage the data as well as we're able to do it, the tools are pretty intuitive to my guys. The ramp-up time between other tools and Altium was pretty minimal, which was really nice for me. I didn't have a lot of downtime, but I think that for me, my biggest smile around the tools is the engineering interface. If we have a question, we make a call within an hour. We've got a dialogue happening, and before the end of that day, and usually half of the day, which is even better for me, I have a solution. And to me, every hour is $1 is money. And so to have those hours saved, to me, that's a smile on my face.
I'm mixed. I'm half. I'm like 30% layout guy and 70% double E. VHDL work. So I'm kind of, I wrap up a lot of different areas, but I think the stuff you're doing will help me do my job faster. I don't think I'll be displaced by your tool.
Forever. We started way back with Tango and transitioned to PCAD, and now just recently we transitioned to Altium Designer, and it's been working very well for us.
We really struggle to get not only our products designed, but our test hardware designed. Normally, companies have test departments, test engineers that can develop all this testing hardware. We have to do that ourselves, and I think the desktop nanoboard will help me do those test stations much faster, because it's at the right level of performance for us for doing test hardware, and the speed looks incredible. Like, I could just whip together a system quickly, it'll work, and I can test the other thing that I just got done designing.
The higher technologies, we need to be able to do differential pairs. We need to be able to match length of traces and things like that. And those are some of the features that we look for in every package we looked at.
And Altium Designer, have you found that in making that transition into the latest technology?
Yeah, it can do all the things we wanted to. Even came with the simulator in it that we really weren't looking for, although we were thinking that maybe was an additional package, and it had some simulation that gave us the ability to do some of those things too. We've been using it for, I'd say, 3 or 4 months, and now when I ask them just to make a simple change, they would rather translate the old design into Altium and do it rather than work in the older packages. So apparently they came up to speed fairly quickly. Actually, the support's been very good. That was one of the things we were concerned about, because when you're doing a transition, one thing you're going to have is a lot of questions. And we actually had a lot of questions, and we're not shy. We will ask questions until we get an answer. And we found the technical support to be very good.
We use the tools a lot. The level of integration, the level of capability built into the package makes it very easy to build up a whole system and integrate everything together. I'd say ease of use. It's just made the whole design process very, very, very easy to work with.
The largest impact that I saw is the usability, the user interface, the ability to learn it is a lot more straightforward with Altium. And the command structure, it's intuitive to the point where you can find out how to do something or find out in the help system how to use that command more straightforward than other tools, which might be a lot more complex and as a result harder to either relearn if you hadn't used the tool for a while or to pick up and start using it if you hadn't used it before. And so that difference in that user interface, I think, is the biggest difference between Altium and other tools, where an engineer might only use it infrequently but be able to step back into it and pick up very easily. Or if you're first coming into the tool to learn it and get familiar with the commands, it's very easy to pick up and use, and that there's great value there.
I'm a long-time Altium user. I started back in the late 80s because you moved quickly to Windows, and that's where I thought everything was going to be. So I've been on the platform since the late 80s, so 20 years now. The reason I've stayed on it is primarily it does what I want. The bugs get fixed eventually. The kind of enhancements we have are in the areas of things I really need. And the price has always been reasonable. I've played with very expensive CAD systems. Being a small company, $40,000, $50,000 for a CAD system just doesn't fly. Basically, looking at some of the new features, what's really important is in a lot of systems, they have an attitude of, we'll just automate things and take more and more user control away. What I want as a user is I want to be a power user. So I want to be in control of the process. So I want to pick a net, and I know what I want to do, and I want to guide the tool. But I want the tool to do all the mundane work of figuring out, don't go through that, go around it, to do those types of things. So the new things I've seen in the 6.9 release are very much in that vein where we're getting the automated assistance to speed us up, but I'm still in control of the process.
I do like your stuff. I was looking at it thinking, oh my God, I can actually take different protocols and stuff, throw them all together. I don't need to add all these chips on the board. I can just do it on one board. And literally, I'll say it again, I'm blown away.
Through some of the web-based videos that were on there, they were helpful in assisting me in getting started and actually designing parts and creating a schematic. I was looking for some help, and I went to the website and I found that tool was there, and it was better than actually me getting on a phone call and talking with somebody. Actually seeing somebody create it made it so much better. Using some of the online stuff, you're able to use some of those sources while you're trying new things with the software, and you get up to speed, which makes you more valuable for the company.